All right, so I'm here with a traveler. I'm gonna interview him a bit about his experiences. What was your name?
I am Corian Texity. I'm also known as Wind Has Colors. I'm on vacation from Wounded Knee, South Dakota, where I've spent the last 4 or 5 years being a resident there and supplying them with medicine. That's what I do.
Now, as far as the people at Wounded Knee,
Uh-huh.
how do they treat you?
Well, Wounded Knee is awesome. Like they accepted me. They've been willing to listen to my words and hear and let my heart speak in order for me. That's how I've been able to live there for so long. Um, other like when I'm a traveler. I've been traveling 27 years, and I don't like to stay in one place because once I stay in one place, I become a homeless person. I don't fly signs. I don't ask people for nothing. I'll throw my thumb out when I need a ride. I know people. If I need money, I'll ask. I try to find work when I can. I'm a little disabled now, so that's a little bit harder. So these days, I'm mostly just dealing weed. Really,
Yeah,
that's the currency of my world now. It's marijuana, and I'm happy to have it that way. I don't, I'm happy about where I live. I don't live on American soil, and I'm proud of that.
you live on
I'm only
a
here on
reservation.
vacation.
Yep.
I live on a reservation, and I'll probably die on that same reservation.
Now, as far as the way people on that reservation treat you versus elsewhere,
No, it's different parts because, like, Wounded Knee, like, I've gotten known there, and then, like, you have Kyle, you have Manderson, which is a totally different story. I don't hang out in Manderson. That's only 8 miles away from Wounded Knee, but I don't go there. I'm not as welcome there as I am in Wounded Knee. So it's all depends on where you are, and a lot of it depends on who you are. I don't drink, so that was a big plus. Me coming out there and not wanting to get drunk with everybody and not wanting to be part of the party scene, I think that helped a lot. I came with a clear mind and a clear conscience, and I came in a good way, and I was accepted as such. But like I said, it depends on where I am. There's only certain houses I go to. There's only certain people I visit. I kind of know, where I'm welcome and where I'm not. So it's all relative. It's same as society. Being out here with my bags, I mean, like people, I'm not welcome everywhere. I went in and asked to make sure that we could sit down and do this interview so that we wouldn't be bothered. Because as well as I do, we could sit down for 10 minutes, catch our breath, and suddenly we're being escorted out. Police are showing up, and it's like, wait a
yep.
minute, I just needed a break. I'm not even. I'm trying to leave. I'll leave. Hey. So I mean that's out on the res. I don't get that. I was able to provide myself with what I needed, and I did my best to help the people around me with what they needed. And it like I left on my own accord. I didn't. Nobody kicked me out. Nobody said I had to go. And a lot of people are wishing I'd come back, which I will. But not right now, people. I'm on vacation. I'm in Hood River.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So I've come out. You can't really see, but I'm like today. I'm wearing my Crazy Horse shirt, my commemorative shirt. I like to come out, and yesterday I had my AIM shirt. I have an AIM Russell Mean shirt.
American Indian Movement.
Yep,
Yes, sir.
yep. It's got the big AIM on the front. It's got Russell Means on the back. You know, um, I like to wear shirts like that now, and just kind of like because it's funny. People won't talk to me. They won't talk to me. They'll talk about me behind my back. And I'll sit there and listen to them, and I gotta just stand there and kind of do the stoic thing, like, but they won't talk to me. They won't ask me. So that kind of, as much as it irritates me, it's kind of fun to watch.
Well, I'm having issues with officers who want to claim that I'm schizophrenic and say that I was doing drugs with somebody in my vehicle to try to
Right.
discredit me and create problems for
And
me.
yeah, they'll do that misinformation. They will judge you and then start accusing you. See, there's no law saying the cop can't lie. No law. In fact, the laws encourage the cops to lie in order
But
to get
there
an
is a
admission of guilt.
stipulation when it comes to harassment. Then there's that right there. There's also the fact that if their lies are malicious, which they are, that's the point about it is that they're allowed to lie, but they're not allowed to lie maliciously. And they're less likely to do that if you have somebody that goes in with you. But what are the
Well, you got to
chances
know
of
your
that?
rights. First and foremost, you got to know your rights as a human being. You got to know You gotta know your rights. You gotta know what you can and can't do, what you can and can't say. Did they have a legal reason to pull you over? You know, first
And
question.
then they can manufacture one.
But they have to prove it in a court of law. And as long as you press them as far so that they know that you know your rights, it's going to lessen their ability to.
Exactly.
I have two
One of
brothers.
those
Check
things
this
is
story
having
out. This
somebody
just
there
happened
so that
yesterday.
They can't. Like much of the stuff with me, they've been losing body camera evidence. They've been, basically going out of their way to treat me like an animal. They used a mentally ill tag to try to bring me down.
I didn't think. He zigged on me. On me. Focus.
And I've
I know you
noticed-
want to say hi. Too bad.
I've noticed they do that to pretty much all the homeless people. Try
Yeah.
to create discontent and try to deter each other from.
Oh,
you
it's
know, working
dissension.
for each other. They're
Wherever you
afraid of
can
the
spread
cops.
dissension, you can spread,
Divide and conquer.
out of concrete. Yeah.
Yep, two of the people over there they're trying to help me now, but the cops tried to tell them that I was schizophrenic, that I had some guy who they've harassed me over this guy on multiple occasions.
Okay.
And if it wasn't for witnesses that were literally there and present, then it would have turned to violence or possibly me getting shot by the cops. That old man over there, the one flying the vet sign, he's a racist asshole, but he was going to assault me right there in that McDonald's right there situation because he wanted to believe what the cops told him. And they were telling him that I was friends with this guy who was having issues with rocks. I'm like, that's
Not even your business, huh?
right. Like he came over and asked me for a cigarette, and then youngins, I believe his name was Logan, came over and asked me for a cigarette. I gave them both a cigarette. Just because I gave him a cigarette, does that mean that we're friends and that Logan is sitting in my car doing drugs? No, it doesn't. There's no room in my car for another person.
There you go, folks.
So now I'm dealing with the part where they play stupid, or you try to tell them about abuse and they tell you it's civil, but I'm disabled, so none of it is civil.
Now, these
Literally all of it is
tactics
felonious.
that you're explaining to me, I see this in every city I go to. It's why I keep traveling, because they are not dealing with the current poverty situation at all. In fact, they're just trying to push people from place to place. Oh, get out of
And
our
that
town
gets
and
more
go on.
expensive, and they'll pay
Yeah.
for you to move on. They'll pay to lock you up, but then they say they have
Finland,
no
the
resources.
entire country of Finland solved homelessness. The entire country. They gave everybody a home. And with that home, they found a job for them to be productive within society. So guess what? There's no homeless people in Finland anymore. They're all doing something. So, yeah, there's answers, but we're too busy fighting each other to really come to the answers, Left wing, Shawnee man one time, long time ago, I was on his res. I was talking to him and I asked him, I was like, hey, yo, so what do you think about, I didn't even remember who was president. You got to figure this was probably Bush or somebody, maybe even Clinton. And I was just like, so what do you think of our current president? And he just looked at me and he said, left wing, right wing, same bird. Only way to play is not join.
They say that in Hardin, Montana, too. That's Little Bighorn.
Yep, I was just there.
Yep. And that's the Missing Women of Hardin, Montana video that I made.
Right on.
Since then, a lot of people have gone missing, slain and not afraid, and it just keeps happening. It didn't start or stop with Henny Scott or Frida Knows
It's
gun.
every month I was getting a current report on how many missing or murdered Indigenous women in South Dakota, because that's where I live. And every month it seemed like I was seeing up to 30 new names every month. They weren't repeating names. These are new people that were now reported missing
Yep.
every month. And
I've tried to find on the database these missing people. A lot of the MMIW sites, they talk about the need for people to speak out, but it's tough to find an updated list.
we had a young lady a few weeks ago, actually, back in Pine Ridge Res, where she disappeared and everybody was. That's right. She was a long soldier. I know some long soldiers, but she was a long soldier, and she went missing. And a week later, her body was found in a. I can't remember exactly where. It don't even matter. But that's the reality of where I live. It's like people go up missing and then they're found dead. And it happens to a lot of beautiful women. Drugs not only are being pushed, but they're being regulated by the police force. So,
Same thing in Hardin.
yep, it's systemic to tear down the lowest class of people, including the continued genocide of the American Indian.
And then there's
Genocide hasn't
going to
stopped.
A lot of the folks
Genocide
there-
has not stopped. That's one thing you need to tell your people is that genocide has not stopped. It's still happening.
I've been saying that for years, and I get treated like I'm crazy and like I'm schizophrenic. Native Americans.
First-hand experience. I've lived on at least 7 different reservations with 7 different tribes, at least. And I'm telling you, it's on every one. You know.
Now, as far as the politics, the reservation, and the politics of the FBI, how difficult is it to get them to even work
Fuck the
together?
politics, save the people. Tribal council on Pine Ridge. I mean, like the full bloods can't even get the relief checks that they were supposed to get from this whole COVID thing, so they can fix their houses and they can take care of what they need to take care of. But the tribal council, well, I don't know where that money went. We were supposed to get paved roads. We were supposed to get all these things when that COVID money started to come, but then it all disappeared. And now we don't have any roads.
In Oregon, reservations that literally don't have potable or drinking water.
Do they have water right over here yet? East of us, about 5 miles.
No,
They still don't have water.
no. Matter of fact, in Starbucks right
That
there,
was
there's
5 years ago when that happened.
Yep, they still have a sign in there. They keep renewing it because, like, they're still without water.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
And then you got the other tribe over the river here. They're probably still fighting for their salmon rights.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I know this area.
Meanwhile, these are all rights that they're afforded by law. These are treaty rights. They're being
Going
violated.
back to the fucking Fort Laramie Treaty, so on and so on. Yes. These are rights that are supposed to be for the people. No questions asked. Not fuck a license. You don't need a license. You're an American Indian. You can do what you want. That's the way it's supposed to be.
That's right. Like in Washington State, along the coastline, it doesn't matter if it's your property or somebody else's. If one of those natives wants to go and search your shores for the food that's on there, they're allowed to. You're not
And that's
allowed
the way
to
it
shoot
should
them.
be. That's the way it should be. We should all be allowed to forage for food anywhere we see fit. I mean, we gotta eat, man. We don't, the whole idea of us being tied to money, and I hate it. Even I'm tied to it. Even with the business I do, it's all about that cash. So that's one of those things that they want us feeding on their system so that we aren't self-sufficient, we aren't independent, and we aren't taking care of ourselves. We're always needing the government to take care of us.
Yep, and that's something about me being disabled. I have to try to live on $800 a month. Then, if there's false charges pressed against me, I don't have any choice but to just take the abuse because I don't have the money for a real lawyer.
Right.
I don't have the money to take care of myself, let alone defend myself.
I think it's been 7 years since I've used my social security number. I'm not in the system. Haven't been for a long time. Now they can find me because now I'm on some database where now they're finding me. For the longest time, like they searched my name, my legal name, and they couldn't find me. Now I'm on some database, I guess, because now they find me. Whatever, I don't care. I'm going home.
Nice to be able to go home too. Like I've been unable to go home because of actions of the police and actions of drug dealers and drug addicts, and of course.
Well, and that's just the thing, like if you're a traveler, your home is where you decide to be. If you're not happy where you are, you gotta find a new place to be,
Yep. And everywhere that you move to, you gotta mind your P's and Q's, and it comes down to if there's one person who happens to live in a house and decides to take a set against you, that can create a situation where you have to move because it's unsafe.
Yeah, No, you say that when on this trip, I've been invited to 3 people's houses. I actually spent the night in 3 people's houses, one for 4 nights. And that was weird because I remember when I started 27 years ago, like that was normal. Once a week at least, I'd get invited in, sleep on a couch, get a shower, get a meal. They drop me off back on the highway. So like This trip has been a lot different, but I've met a lot of the people on this trip where it's been like I've been carried by a few people of a few different tribes over this trip where it's just like, okay, it's not even the white people. You know, I mean, it's so that's
I've
cool.
needed my car jumped. Out of the 7 times that I had to jump my car, all 7 times it was someone of Hispanic origin.
Usually, yeah. I mean, people, and that's what it is. Like they know what poverty really is. You know,
Absolutely.
like
Also, the guy that gave me a tow from the Walmart, it would have cost me over $300 to get my vehicle pulled out if that guy hadn't done it
pulled
for
it for you.
$100.
Yeah.
And see, $100 was an absolute steal for both of us.
Oh yeah, it paid for his gas and probably got him a little extra, and
Yep.
you were able to get what you needed done. That's the way it should be. You know.
Absolutely.
It's like a raven, isn't it?
Yeah, we actually have a lot of California condors here.
I actually saw my first eagle coming into Oregon a couple days ago. Finally, after I left the res, like I usually see eagles a lot, and when I left the res, I got scared because I wanted
Red
to
or
see
golden?
eagles. A golden. I was golden, but I mean, like back home, we got a lot of balds.
Yep.
So like I got used to seeing my baldies, and you know, then like I didn't see them all the way through Wyoming, all the way through Montana, all the way through Utah, all the way through Idaho, and then we hit Oregon, and suddenly I see a golden eagle when we pulled over just randomly. I'm like, okay, I'm good.
Now, with the police, you know, slandering people the way that they do so often in the
Please
homeless
avoid
community,
'em.
traveler,
Yeah.
it's nice to avoid them.
I that's why I don't fly signs. That's why I don't ask people for nothing. You know.
Now, with the stuff that they say about this, how much do you think that contributes to the less prevalence of people assisting a homeless person?
Oh, it's totally systemic against us. I mean, goddamn. I mean, like most of us just want to eat every day. Like when I met you, what I asked for food.
Food. Yep.
That's all I want is food. But like somebody came to me the other day, a Christian guy, and he brought up the word enabling. Like he would be enabling me by giving me food. And I'm like, that's some twisted bullshit, isn't it? Like,
That ain't
I
what
mean,
Jesus did. Jesus would have fed you.
just eat, dude. You gotta eat. You're hungry. Eat. Just let it go. It's not that important.
It's hard to take care of anything else in life without food, water, and shelter. So when
Dude,
you're in
I can't
survival
think
mode,
when I
it's
don't
those
eat.
3.
I've been eating peanut butter. This jar, it's like peanut butter and honey, but
Yep.
it's all in one. And that's what I ate for lunch and dinner last night. And that's what I ate for breakfast this morning. I'm hungry. You know what I mean? I mean, that's what it is. But, you know, at the same time, like, yeah, I know better than to ask any of these people for anything because they're just going to make me feel worse than I already do, you know?
Now here in Hood River, I noticed that people are a lot nicer than most places. I mean, it's no hard in Montana. When I was there,
Oh, yeah, people are nicer here, that's for sure.
as far as people here go towards, you know,
Yeah.
when they talk to me, they're nice. When they interact,
They're
with me,
genuine
they're
with
nice.
their interactions, aren't
Right.
they?
But
Yeah.
also, they're not the kind of people like in Hardin. People, when there's something going on in Hardin, they'll stand up and do something. Here, they'll talk nice, but it's the same blowing you off.
It's what I like to say is everybody wants to be everybody wants to be idealistic until they have to work at it.
Yes.
You know,
You
yeah,
have
oh
to
great.
put
We can
actual
all
effort
live in a
forward.
fantasy world and have all these dreams in our heads of what we think this reality is, but it's never gonna come to fruition just because you're in some fairyland.
Right.
I get those
That's one of
kids.
the things about like
I don't
most
believe-
dangerous,
I-
secluded people are
yeah.
the ones who think they're normal.
Yeah, well, they think that they got this some grand idea. Some of them, these younger ones that I ran into in Utah, they're like trying to come up in some dream state of, well, I don't believe in anything, but I believe. Like, I'm like, well, what do you believe? And they couldn't even state what they believed. You know, like they don't even know, but they're gonna go about talking about it. You
Well,
know,
that's kind of like people who join the military. They don't know what the United States is like. They know what living in their
so I
mama's
got to raise
house
a
is.
fist to that one.
Then they join the military, and when they get out, they're like, this is not what I fought for. This is not what I thought this was. But all they knew was their parents' house. They thought their parents' house was the United States,
And
a representative thereof.
I meet a lot of vets on this road. And every other day at least, I meet a new vet and I hear their
8 in
stories.
10 on the streets were in the military, and 1 in 10 on the streets was a combat veteran.
I met a specialist recently. I'm not going to go into details, but I met him on the streets. He hung out with me for 3 days. I made sure he ate. We even had a couple drinks together for a guy who don't drink, you know.
Right.
But it was a truly good experience. But yeah, I don't know where I was going with that.
Well, that's all right. What do you say we end the video with?
That sounds good. Yeah, I gotta get up on some breakfast. I'm pretty hungry.
All right. Well, I'm hungry too. So you mind eating with me?
Not a problem.
All right. Cool. All right, folks. Y'all be safe. I'll try to get back on here and talk some trash later. If I'm stuck in this area all day, well, I gotta hurry up and wait, I suppose. So we're gonna go get something to eat. Y'all be safe. Stay out of trouble or don't get caught. And remember, you are your brother's keeper.
Oh.
Okay. Hey.